Before I begin this episode, I want to take a moment to extend my sincere appreciation to Midwest Fire. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that Midwest Fire ads run at the beginning of every episode. This is because they're the show's sponsor. Their financial support helps to offset the cost of the show's production, editing, hosting, marketing, and distribution. Yes, contrary to what some might believe, it does cost money to produce and distribute a weekly radio show. I know, it's shocking. In 2015, Midwest Fire contacted me and said they support my mission and they want to sponsor the show. I was completely blown away by their generosity, but before I would agree to accept the offer, I had to see their operations firsthand to ensure for myself that their apparatus met my expectations for quality. I was blown away. I went to the factory and saw their all-poly designs. They work directly with their customers, never through dealers, to keep the cost down and the communications consistent during the entire sales and manufacturing process. And by creating long-term relationships with their customers, they're able to help devise some state-of-the-art approaches to meet your department's needs. They take great pride in their work and their ability to produce some of the most innovative fire apparatus on the market. Check them out, MidwestFire.com. I think you'll be impressed too. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Captain Jason Nesbitt from the County of Grand Prairie Regional Fire Service, and you are listening to the SA Matters radio show with Dr. Richard Gassaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello and welcome to episode 86 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gassaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence environments. The SA Matters mission is simple: to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. I'm coming to you today from Evansville, Indiana, where I'm in town delivering 2 programs for the Scott Township Fire Department. This is the 4th tour stop that Scott Township has hosted, so I want to give them a special acknowledgement for supporting my mission. And to the guys and gals of Scott Township, they treat me like family. Every visit, they feed me obscene amounts of amazingly good food, and the fellowship and the idea sharing is inspiring to me. Thank you, Scott Township. In today's episode, we discuss high reliability organizations, and we look at their traits and their processes, and their efforts to produce effective and predictable results. There's a lot being talked about these days about the concept of high reliability organizations, sometimes referred to as HROs. The concept is being embraced by many hospitals throughout the United States, and arguably for a good reason. The principles of high reliability organizations have direct applications to first responders. This contribution focuses on helping you to understand the overarching concept of what a high reliability organization is and how the principles might be applied to us. HROs are entities that have developed and implemented systems that provide extraordinary, consistent, and extremely effective and predictable results. These successful systems help HROs avoid errors that could prove to be catastrophic. Early adopters of HRO philosophies were domains whose past failures had extremely catastrophic consequences. For example, commercial airplane crashes and nuclear reactor meltdowns. Safety managers in aviation and nuclear power realized they needed to identify the weak danger signals present and take action to address the dangers and keep the system functioning and avoid a disaster. A common thread. The organizations who adopt HRO practices change the way they respond to threats. As researchers who've studied these organizations note, some common threads have emerged. So let's examine some of the themes. Complexity. HROs are often very complex organizations where members work in complex environments. The environment is often one dependent on multiple teams coordinating their activities to ensure safety. The safety of firefighters operating on emergency scenes requires the coordination of dispatchers, commanders, safety officers, division leaders, attack crews, search crews, vent crews, pump operators, more. The coordination often involves other outside agencies as well, such as police, EMS, utility companies, social services, Red Cross, etc. Hypercomplexity is present in the airline, nuclear energy, and in the fire service. Teamwork. HROs consist of highly connected teams in which team members often depend on the tasks performed by other members of the team. Safe operations at structure fires depend on the coordinated efforts of multiple teams of responders to ensure the fire is ventilated and extinguished, victims are located and rescued, property is conserved, and firefighter safety is ensured throughout. Many fire service leaders realize the coordination of firefighting teams is essential. Most also acknowledge the coordination has room for improvement. Knowledge supersedes rank. In HROs, roles and responsibilities are clearly differentiated and defined. The complexity of the hierarchy requires a lot of effort to ensure the teams are coordinated and the cross-functional team members work well together. One of the ways that HROs differ in philosophy from the traditional fire department organizational hierarchy is that during times of crisis and critical decisions, those decisions are not made by ranking commanders or senior administrators. Rather, critical decisions are deferred to the most knowledgeable person on the team, regardless of their rank in the organization. Imagine that in the fire service. Communications. In an HRO, there are many individuals making decisions. Many of those decisions are interconnected with the decisions being made by others. Cross-communications becomes critical to ensure safety. HROs have processes in place to ensure the decision makers can communicate essential information in timely ways. Accountability. Because of the nature of the business most HROs are engaged in, when errors do occur, the consequences are often severe and involve injuries, death, environmental catastrophe, and massive financial losses. Thus, accountability is a critical component of HROs. In the context of response to fires, not all victims are savable. Sometimes the outcomes are scripted long before the fire department arrives. In some cases, the outcome may be certain before the fire department is even notified for the call. This is where the role of prevention is intertwined with response in the creation of a fire service HRO, identifying the potential failures in advance of an emergency response and working to fix them, often with cross-functional teams from multiple agencies. Feedback. It is a hallmark of HROs that team members give and receive feedback all the time. Constant feedback creates an opportunity for team members to continually adjust their actions and improve their ability to anticipate problems and avoid problems before they turn into crises. In the fire service, feedback can come in many ways. It's not simply the quantity of feedback, but also the quality of feedback. Massive amounts of information may actually be harmful to resiliency because team members have to sift through all the data to determine what's important and what isn't. The goal of an HRO is to ensure systems and mindsets are in place so that team members get the right feedback in the right quantity at the right time to improve decision making. Compressed time constraints. Time constraints are common in many industries, including the fire service. In HROs, there is a design in their systems and a mindset in their culture that allows team members to identify and communicate when they do not have time to thoroughly and accurately complete all of their tasks. The system facilitates a team member's ability to ask for and receive assistance. Fire department personnel often face challenges where personnel are asked to do more with less and complete tasks without the proper staffing and resources. The time constraint of an emergency scene, hampered by staffing shortages, can certainly strain the system, and not surprisingly, is often a contributing factor to casualties. Now let's look at some of the processes used by high reliability organizations. Sensitivity to operations. HROs realize manuals and policies are in a constant state of change. They are ever mindful of the complexity of the system in which they work. When anomalies or problems arise in their systems, HROs work quickly to identify and eliminate any potential errors that could occur. Maintaining situational awareness is important for staff at all levels because it is the best and perhaps the only way anomalies, potential errors, and actual errors can be quickly identified and addressed. Sensitivity to operations reduces the number of errors and allows errors to be quickly identified and fixed before their consequences become larger. Reluctance to simplify. HROs refuse to simplify procedures and operations to make things, quote-unquote, easier. They ignore the excuses and the explanations offered for the difficulties and problems they face. HROs understand and accept the fact that their work is complex and do not accept simplistic solutions for challenges confronting complex and adaptive systems. They understand their systems can fail in ways that have never happened before, and it is near impossible to identify all the ways in which their systems could fail in the future. This does not mean that HROs do not work to make processes as simple as possible. They do. What it does mean is that all members are encouraged to recognize the range of things that might go wrong and not assume that failures and potential failures are the result of a single, simple cause. HROs strive to build diverse teams and use the experiences of team members who understand the complex nature of their field and continually refine their decision-making methods. A preoccupation with failure. HROs spend a lot of time focusing on predicting and eliminating catastrophes rather than reacting to them. This is one lesson that seems to be of enormous value to public safety organizations. HROs constantly evaluate their performance as though they may have missed something that places employees, customers, citizens, or the environment at risk. Near-miss events are viewed as opportunities to improve current systems by examining strengths, determining weaknesses, devoting resources to improving and addressing potential problems. Near misses are not viewed as proof that the system has enough checks and balances in place to prevent a catastrophe. Such an approach serves only to encourage complacency rather than reliability. Instead, near-miss events are viewed as opportunities to learn and understand what went wrong in the earlier stages of the process that could have prevented the potential catastrophe by improving processes. Deference to expertise. HROs develop and nurture a culture where leaders defer decision-making to the person with the most knowledge relevant to the issue they are confronting. The premise for this deference is logical. The most experienced member and the highest-ranking member may not have access to the same information. In HROs, the culture is one that requires staff at all levels to be comfortable sharing information and concerns with others, and to be supported, even commended, when they do so. This de-emphasis on hierarchy and formal chain of command is essential for organizations to prevent and respond to and correct problems quickly. Resilience. HROs pay close attention to how quickly they are able to contain errors and improvise when difficulties do occur. The goal is for the systems to continue to function despite setbacks. HROs are not naive. They assume that despite all the safeguards they have in place, the system can fail in unanticipated ways. Where HROs differ from many public safety organizations is they prepare for their system failures by training members to perform quick situational assessments, working effectively as a team that defers to expertise, and practicing how they would respond to system failures. Compare your department's processes to those used by HROs. Identify opportunities to make small incremental improvements that may bring your organization more in alignment with those used by HROs. Developing and implementing the changes that create an HRO culture is not easy, nor is it something that can be done by one person. It requires a commitment from across the organization and the will of leaders throughout the membership to embrace these processes. There are many lessons the fire service can learn from HROs. It starts with obtaining some baseline training on the concepts of what it means to be a highly reliable organization. To embrace the concepts means to fundamentally change the way departments look at how they provide service. To become an HRO takes effort, commitment, and buy-in from top to bottom. It's not enough to embrace a few buzzwords like saying, "We practice mindfulness in our organization." which is something that I was told once when I was asked what it meant and got the answer that it made it clear that they had no idea what they were talking about. But it sounded good when they said it. The fire service can learn a lot from other domains where high-risk, high-consequence decisions are a matter of business, like aviation, medicine, military, and nuclear energy. Become a student of the best practices used in those industries to improve your organization's safety. We cannot become all that we are capable of by remaining what we are. It's time to open ourselves up to new ways of doing business, especially when it results in improving safety for our members. If you've experienced or witnessed a near miss and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, please contact me by visiting the SAMatters.com website and clicking on the Contact Us link on the top of the home page. Think about this for a moment. The lessons learned from your near-miss event could save the life of another first responder. If you want to share your experience, contact me. If you haven't subscribed yet to the SA Matters radio podcast, please take a moment to go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio and sign up. And while you're there, please consider leaving some feedback on the show, if you like it, and give it a 5-star review. This is really important because 5-star reviews really inspire me to work harder for you. And a lot of time and effort goes into producing and recording and editing and lining up the guests. Your feedback is really appreciated. I'm running a holiday special on all the SA Matters books and videos. If you go to samatters.com/holiday sale, you'll find bargains ranging from 20 to 40% off on books and videos. There are some great deals there, and the sale ends soon. I'm super excited to announce the release of my third book in the Situational Awareness Matters series, SA Matters Volume 3. The book contains 30 lessons for improving first responder situational awareness and decision-making under stress. The book makes a great stocking stuffer, and it's 20% off right now. If you or your business might be interested in supporting the Situational Awareness Matters mission with a sponsorship, I'm seeking a few select sponsors to help offset the costs of running the website, the social media, the podcast, the YouTube channel, the monthly newsletter, and all the other free content that I put out. The website's enjoyed over 1 million visitors who've downloaded over 4 million pages of content. New blog articles are posted every Friday. Newsletters are distributed to thousands of first responders each month. The podcast show that you're listening to now has been downloaded over 75,000 times. There are also opportunities to sponsor webinars and live events. So if you know of a business that would like to get their message in front of my visitors, subscribers, and supporters, ask them to contact me through the SA Matters website. And here's hoping I can pick up an additional sponsor or two that can help to keep the free content flowing. And again, super thanks to Midwest Fire for being our first and currently only sponsor of this podcast radio show. Without your generous support, I couldn't keep this show afloat. I want to take a moment to thank the departments and the organizations who have hosted recent Situational Awareness Matters tour stops. Your efforts to bring this valuable and powerful training on situational awareness and high-risk, high-consequence decision-making to your members and others in your region are greatly appreciated. The MSTEP Conference in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, the Scott Township Fire Department in Evansville, Indiana, where I'm at now. Thank you, Scott Township. And coming up soon, although I think it will probably already have happened by the time this episode occurs, on December 8th, I'll be doing a program for the International Association of Fire Chiefs Company Officer Development Symposium in Phoenix, Arizona. If you're interested in attending an upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop, you can join me on December 14th at the SBM Fire Department in Spring Lake Park, Minnesota, December 27th at the Munhall Volunteer Fire Department in Munhall, Pennsylvania, December 28th at the Peters Township Fire Department in McMurray, PA, December 29th at the Swissvale Fire Department in Swissvale, PA. January 5 and 6 at the Savage Fire Department in Savage, Minnesota. January 8th through 10th at the Utah Winter Fire School in St. George, Utah. January 13th at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, Fire and Emergency Services Leadership Institute. January 16th at the Iosco County Firefighters Association in East Tawas, Michigan. And January 23rd and 24th at the South Carolina Firefighters Association Winter Safety Symposium in Columbia, South Carolina. If you're interested in attending an upcoming SA Matters tour stop, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage. It says Upcoming Event Schedule. Here's hoping there'll be a tour stop near you and we'll get a chance to meet up. If you're interested in hosting a Situational Awareness Matters tour stop in 2016 for your department or association or region, contact me through the SA Matters website and we'll get something set up for you. If you're not a member yet of the SA Matters community of learners, please consider joining. There are over 5,000 members connected here on SA Matters, sharing ideas about how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to train members to be critical thinkers and resilient problem solvers. Membership is free, and when you sign up, you receive a special report that I've created for the new members called 25 Best Practices for Improving First Responder Safety. So if you're not a member yet, head over to the SA Matters website, click on the red box on the right side of the homepage that says Free Membership. As a reminder, every episode of the SA Matters radio show has a corresponding show notes page on the SA Matters website. All the most recent episodes scroll on the homepage, but for older episodes, you go to samatters.com / and enter the episode number, which is always mentioned at the start of each show. For example, if you want to access episode 70, you would go to your internet browser, www.samatters.com /70, and that'll take you to the page that contains the link to that episode. The show notes page contains additional information and resources about the episode, and depending on who our guest is, we may also have some incident scene pictures, videos, audio, and the contact information for the guest. On the show notes page, you can also ask questions and leave feedback on the episode. If you want to get connected with me on social media, you can do that on Twitter by following @RichGasaway or @SAMatters on Twitter. The SA Matters Twitter community has more than 16,000 followers of our mission. And thanks to everyone who's connected with me on Twitter. I appreciate that. You can also get connected on Facebook by joining the SA Matters private Facebook page. To do that, go to facebook.com /groups /SA Matters. It's free. You get a really good discount I'm running for the group members on the new book, the SA Matters Volume 3. There's a discount code in there to get 50% off. On LinkedIn, you can find me by searching Rich Gasaway. And thanks to everybody connected with me on Facebook and LinkedIn. I appreciate that as well. Well, that's it. Episode 86 is complete. Thanks to our sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thanks to all of our live event hosts. And thank you to our listeners for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there. And may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.